You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Caitlin Becker. They are two of the most beloved boy band stars of all time, and now they are teaming up. That's right, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys and Jordan Knight of New Kids on the Block fame are not only releasing an album, but they're going on tour together. Yes, I'm so excited. Ladies, compose yourselves or don't, because Nick and Jordan are here to tell us all about their collaboration. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you for
It's so not professional for me to be as excited as I am, but what are you going to do?
There's no rules.
So how did the collaboration even happen?
Actually, we were friends before we had done the NKOTBSB venture.
That's exactly how fans imagine it to be.
You know, and way before we were writing music together. 10 years before we even did that collaboration.
Yeah, and then we kind of saw each other get on the road and kind of rekindled the friendship. And we both, actually at the time, we both had solo albums out, and we both do solo music outside of the group. So we thought it would be a good idea to like team up and do a tour. But we kind of took it to the next level and thought it would be a little more interesting if we did an album together.
Yeah, actually create a new group.
A new group, a new sound.
A new career.
So the album itself, Nick and Knight, doesn't come out yet, but there is a song available. Mm-hmm. That's really exciting. When does the whole album come out?
The whole album comes out September 2nd.
That's right, September 2nd.
You can hear one of the songs by going to nickandknight.com, and you can pre-order the album, and you will instantly get a song. The song is called The Two of Us.
We have those links below in our resource wheel, of course, so as you are watching, you can click those and get your download started, but don't listen to it until after we're done this, of course. I have some questions from our community. The first one is from Melissa, who wants to know, what kinds of songs can we expect from this duo album, and will there be additional collaborations on the album?
Well, additional collabs? We're not 100% done with the album. We're like about 90% done. We have some finishing touches, but it's really just a collaboration between us two, I would say. We'll do maybe one or two solo songs on the album, and the rest are
We'll sing backgrounds on it,
And the rest are just me and him. As far as the style, I think we're kind of like leaning more towards the rhythmic, sexy, funky. Yeah. R&B kind of style.
Are you picky about the other person's ability? Do you pick on him if you're listening to his singing? Do you pick on each other?
Not at all.
Do you try to like force
It's
each other to get perfect?
It's a really great experience in the studio together, to be quite honest. We allow each other to have the freedom. We're constantly just cracking up, joking with each other the entire time. It's a nice, free-spirited, creative atmosphere. And, he's a professional, I'm a professional, we've been doing this forever, so we trust each other's abilities. But there are times, too, that Jordan will come in and he'll say, hey, Nick, what do you think about trying this? And I don't have an ego, to the point where I'm like, hey, look, I always feel like I can learn something new, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel, and so we help each other out in the studio, and that's why I think the music's really, really good.
Does it feel different recording with each other than it does recording with your respective boy bands?
I think, when you're in a group for, 20 years, you kind of fall into a certain role. You know your place. Everybody's like, oh, there's that part, that's Jordan's part, there's that part, that's Donnie's part. So, and then when you work with somebody new, it's kind of like, it's risky. So you do have to kind of let go a bit and trust. I have to trust that, he's hearing something that maybe I'm not quite hearing, and I have to let that happen. Him, the same with me. So there is a degree of, newly found trust that you have to put into it, rather than just being, kind of on autopilot or comfort zone with your group.
But
and did you each fall into those sort of roles within your groups? Like, is one of you the dad of the group, or the the little brother, or the?
I know from my point of view, obviously I was thrown into, I was the youngest member of my group.
You were a baby.
Yeah.
He was like a little lamb with a bunch of wolves.
It was funny, we were talking about when we had actually first met, before we had done our writing together. I was like 14 or 15 years old when I first met him. And yeah, it's just, when you get a little older, I don't know from his side, but you just kind of, you're not really playing roles anymore, you're just enjoying the ride and having fun and creating, and just that's from my point of view. I don't know about Jordan.
I agree.
How different do you view the industry now that you've been in it for so long and you're, grown-ups than you did when you were, 14, 20 and you had all this money, zillions and zillions of screaming, crying, hysterical fans that I was not one of, I promise that never happened. Definitely did. Is it so different being an adult on the side of looking at the industry now?
I mean, yeah, feels good.
Yeah, I think we're more behind the scenes, like kind of getting it all done. We know what it takes more now to make something happen, to make something even like this project to happen. Maybe we don't take it for granted as much, or we work harder even now.
Yeah.
When you're young, you think it's going to go on forever, and you have fans that love you, and you have to be good to your fans. If you want longevity, if you want to be in this, as long as we've been in this thing, it's not just about, like some people say, or just making money, or you know what I mean. It's like we have to really put in the time and make sure we're putting time into our craft and making good music and being good to our fans. And when we step on stage, the show is on point.
I have a question here from Elizabeth who wants to know, hi Nick and Jordan, are you prepared for the 10,000 questions from reporters on whether this means both groups have broken up?
That's interesting. I mean, we're prepared. I mean, both of our groups know what we're doing. I mean, this has been in the works since we started the NKO TBSB thing. So everyone's on the same page and we're supportive. He's on tour right now. I'm on tour right now with the boys. I think it's probably going to be one of those natural things to, guess and say, oh, well, maybe, but it's not. I think we know that, our group helps us out, and hopefully this will help, our groups out at the same time, But we're passionate about this. This is a new project that is going to take time and dedication, and energy. We want it to be successful. We want this to actually be something that means something to people out there.
Are you looking for a new fan base or a different fan base than the one that you've had you've been sort of cultivating and crafting for all of these years?
We're not necessarily needing or really looking for that. We're just, if that happens, that would be great. Since New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys toured, there's a certain clump of fans that kind of merge together, and they're kind of like fans of both groups. Mm-hmm. So there's those fans, and then hopefully we can win some new people over, maybe even some naysayers about the project. Hopefully, when you hear the music, that's when you can judge.
Exactly.
Naysayers? I am personally offended that anyone would naysay because I love you guys so much. But I mean, what do people push back on? Is it the fact that you have such a history of being, so popular in such a different realm?
No, I think maybe even like our fans are so passionate. Some of our fans are like, we just want you, or we just want you with the New Kids, or the same with him. We just want you, or we just want you with the Backstreet Boys. Like I said,
change is scary.
Right.
New things are scary, especially, with Backstreet Boys and New Kids, we've created, thankfully, a legacy with music and fans, and people love what we've done. We're not letting go of that, and we're going to constantly give them that. But I think, this is an adventure, this is something new, this is something fresh and exciting, a new thing for our fans, and hopefully they'll lean into the discomfort and then have a whole new experience that that can be just great.
You both have individually and within your own groups had such longevity with your careers. I have a question here from Emily Heckelman, one of our producers, who says, what advice would you give to young stars like Justin Bieber?
That question is always tends to get asked, and I always lean towards they're not going to take your advice, no matter what you say. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'd be wasting my breath. Everyone has a path in their lives, and they're going to do what they want to do. And sometimes it takes you down a darker road. Sometimes it takes you, if you're an intelligent person and you can learn and grow from those things, then you become a different, and I'd like to say layered person with lots of, character layers. So
even if we put sort of the Justin Bieber hijinks that he's been up to aside, what do you say to these younger people who want to say, I want to be in this business from now until the rest of my life. I don't want to get old. I don't want to be stale. I don't want the new guy to overtake me. How do you sustain fans and sustain popularity?
You definitely have to work hard. You have to be good to your fans. It's not just going to come. Fame and, you know, and popularity and fortune and all that stuff. It just doesn't automatically happen. You have to work for it. You only get when you give. I would just, you have to be totally dedicated. You have to love what you do.
Be ready for the ride.
Is there ever a point that you think either one of you would just say, ride's done, I want to relax?
It's really difficult. You know, from my perspective, I don't know about you.
I mean, there's days when like you're grinding and you're going through stuff, and you know, there's so many other stuff. You know, I have a family. You know, he just got married. There's so many other, you know, in your personal life and stuff like that. And it's like sometimes there's days where it's a real grind, and that's where you have to love what you do. You have to really love it because there's always obstacles. There's always days when you're like, I just want to take a break, you know, those kind of days. But it's the passion for doing what you do that gets you through that.
Yeah, it's the challenge. I like to say it's the challenge.
And you did just get married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is your wife prepared to handle all of the madness that goes with being you?
Well, since we are doing a reality television show on VH1, you know, I kind of, she's become more accustomed to my lifestyle after being together for 5, almost 6 years. You know, she was a normal girl and still is a normal girl, but this, I mean, we're on the road for 300 days out of the year, and it's a different lifestyle. So she's starting to get used to it, but it's just one of those things that, you know, I've done this since I was 12, 13 years old, you know, and that's kind of like, but she's dealing with it, and the whole experience when it came to filming the television and everything, I kind of pushed her into it a little bit more, and it's opening her eyes to how hard it is to be in the business, how difficult it is, the work that goes into it, because a lot of people out there like to think that, oh well, you know, it's just all bells and whistles and cakes and
it just
candies,
happens,
you know,
right.
but there is a lot that goes into it.
Right.
Is there a fear for you guys with having, I mean, you described your wife as just a normal girl, which is probably part of the reason that you love her so much, that she just isn't sort of caught up in this, that either one of you are worried that your family members who aren't used to being in the limelight or don't want to be in the limelight will get caught up in this monster and hate it?
I think it's really up to them. I mean, like my wife, she doesn't like to be in the spotlight, and she does a good job staying out of the spotlight. She still comes to our shows and everything else, but she doesn't have a Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. She just likes to stay out of it. So it's really up to them. As far as like our kids wanting to get into it or something like that, you know, I don't know if I would really want my 14-year-old to all of a sudden, you know, say, I want to be in a boy band too. I don't know. I would definitely have mixed feelings about it. You know, maybe if I was managing them, I'd feel a lot better about it.
You'd be the dadager? The dad manager?
I wouldn't want to be that guy, but just so that I could guide
Protect
them,
them.
yeah, and protect them, I would want to be that guy.
Do you feel like you guys were protected?
From my side of things, no, I kind of had to feel my way in the dark and learn it all myself. So I think that, yeah, not necessarily, but I don't know.
Somewhat, sometimes not.
You had your brother with you, you know,
well,
kind of
well,
through the mix. That's had to be a little bit of a...
Definitely. I think the good thing about being in groups is that you have a layer there. You have 4 other people, or however many people in the group. They know exactly what you're going through. When there's people like, you know, when we talk about people like Justin Bieber, it's like he has nobody to really talk to.
To lean on.
You know, everybody's on for the ride, really.
Everybody wants something too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have another question here, which is, I think, the opposite of our Justin Bieber question. One of our hosts here, Ricky Camilleri, wants to know, what advice would you give to older stars like Leif Garrett?
That is a really good question. We're older stars. I don't like to consider myself a star, but we're older entertainers,
Yeah.
and Give us some advice. Can someone tell us what to do?
Don't look at me.
I don't know if we know what we're doing.
I don't know if we know what we're doing.
How can we give somebody else around our age? I don't know. Honestly,
Sorry, Garrett, you're
And
screwed.
people live their lives the way they live their lives. You know, who are we
You
to?
guys have it together, though. Look at you.
I had too much coffee this morning. That's not having it together.
Yeah, this is our game face here. You know.
All right, I would like to bring in our community members right now. We have one of your biggest fans here from the HuffPost Live community joining us via webcam to ask you a question. Hi, Kara.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
So you guys know Kara.
Oh, we go back.
How
Kara.
are you?
Kara, what's going on?
Hi.
Kara,
I'm
this is
good.
the second time you've snuck into an interview with these guys
She
today.
infiltrates.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw
That's
her
what-
this morning.
That's my job.
I'm
I'm a music reporter at my local newspaper.
She's
There
a
you go.
hacker.
All right, Kara, what did you not get to ask the guys earlier that you want to ask them now?
Well, you kind of already answered the question about what the other guys thought about, Nick. I keep wanting to call it Nick at Night.
Yeah.
But
look.
but who all did you work with on the album, and did you guys write any of the songs yourselves?
We did. We got in the studio and worked with. We like to work with other writers as well, obviously, and we don't necessarily. I don't think it's really wise to go after big names to work with, because you just want to work with people that are hungry and ready to work and just very talented.
And they want to work with you.
And want to work with you,
Yeah.
and those are the best people to work with. The people that we did work with, they've worked with other big names, but they aren't household names. But we just like to work with people that are enthused about working with us. I don't know what the second part of her question was. Did we write? Yes, we wrote a lot of the songs.
And
on the album.
that's the thing, Jordan and I said before NKOTBSB, and I had written with him down in Florida, and he's a great writer, you know what I mean? And I love writing, and I'm passionate about it as well. So we're able to kind of have that good, synergy between each other, and we're writing great music, I think, for this album, as well as the other writers and producers who are contributing.
Well, Kara, thank you so much for stopping by this interview as well.
We'll see you later on today, Kara.
Probably.
I'm
next
at
interview?
work now, so
Oh.
sorry.
Okay, so Nick, we have to discuss this. You recently posted a reaction to my HuffPost Live interview with Joey Fatone, where you tweeted,
Yes, it was you.
"It was me.
That's
I
right.
was on that couch."
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, was he here?
It was
He was
God,
here,
that's
yes,
right.
and
on.
you tweeted, "Really
Oh.
just disappointed. I really liked Joey." And to remind everyone, if you don't remember, this is what Joey said.
Oh.
Groups and bands have said that we will never tour again, and you see, like New Kids on the Block touring.
And the
stuff like that.
Backstreet Boys, do you feel like they're showing you guys up? Because
No, I feel like they just need the money. No offense, guys.
I nearly fell off the couch when he said that. You were not happy.
I know Joey, and Joey he's a sweetheart. He has a dry sense of humor. He's one of those guys, I think, that he tries to make a point and then also backs it up with some humor. But we talked afterwards, and yes, I made my point, and got that across, and he understood it, because at the end of the day, yeah, we are protective over what we do and our fans, and our fans are loyal to us, and we are loyal to them. You know what I mean? And really, ultimately, without fans, you're not, without a career like that we have, we're not going to make. Without these fans, we're not going to have a career and be able to make money, and do what we do. So I think that.
And everybody has to make a living, correct?
Exactly.
Do you think
So
there was
what's
a part
wrong-
of jealousy in
what's
there,
wrong with
though,
that?
you guys can still have your group together and NSYNC can't get back together?
No, I don't think that, me personally, I think that they still can get back together. And that's why I was kind of, thrown off. I believe that they, even without Justin, could go out and do it. And maybe would like to see that happen, you know what I mean? I feel that it's unfortunate that one person should determine, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be that way. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, I talked to Joey, and And I said, Joey, and we talked via Twitter and then talked afterwards on my text message. I said, Joey, I was just messing with you a little bit. I was just playing into it a little bit. And
Can we clarify something that he said, though? He said some groups said they would never tour again. Did you guys say you would never tour again?
Oh, I never said that, no.
And neither did the New Kids. I just want to clarify that.
He did say New Kids first.
He did say, well, you guys came first.
Yeah.
Right, but we never said we'd never tour again.
You
Like
guys
he
are
said.
handling this so diplomatically. I thought you were going to have something sassy to say about it.
Well, I think it's gotten pretty sassy and it got a lot of exposure and people were talking about it, and so I think we're past that point now.
I was terrified that I started a boy band brawl, social media brawl, that it was my fault, but happily you guys aren't mad at me.
Yeah, but I think that we're not mad at you. Definitely not mad at you.
That would have been really a sad end to this conversation. Now, before I let you guys go, our CEO here, Ariana Huffington, has a new book called Thrive, and in it she talks about redefining success beyond money and power, doing things like meditating, yoga, catching up on your sleep. How do you guys thrive?
When I'm in the gym, to be quite honest with you, when I do cardio, when I'm eating healthy, when I'm, sleeping. To be quite honest with you,
We're all about sleep here. We have nap rooms
getting
upstairs.
8 hours of sleep a day and trying to go to bed early. It's like that's what I love.
Sleeping is awesome. I like to. It's great to be on a routine. I like to be on I like to wake up, and I like to work out every day, eat well, spend time with my family, with my wife, my kids. That's it just rejuvenates me, and I would say that's what makes me thrive.
We are all about sleep here, so you are in good company when you're talking about getting 8 hours. Like I said, we have nap rooms upstairs, so we're
Do you really?
encouraged.
I don't get 8 hours anymore. I get no. It's all
Like 6.
I'm like, am I getting like how older people like they stop sleeping as much? Is that what's happening to
You're
me?
gonna start eating grape nuts in the morning next. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be absolutely terrible. Jordan, Nick, I want to thank you so much for joining me. This has been truly a dream come true for me. I'm a little shaky at the moment, actually, which is kind of embarrassing. Of course, do not forget, Just the Two of Us is available today for download with the album pre-order, and the full release of Nick and Night is scheduled for September 2nd. So check it out. All of those links, everything you need, is below in our resource well. And for more info on the guys, of course, check out all the info and their tour dates. Stick around. There's a lot coming up next on HuffPost Live.